If we haven't met, I'm Mark. I'm the founder of Castiron, and I am so lucky that I get to spend my days working on a business where I work with really talented entrepreneurs and really passionate folks like you. So I'm going to do something today that is I'm sort of going freestyle a little bit because not every plan works out according to, but I see according to the plans, as it were. So I want to ask you, I'm going to tell you what I was going to talk about today with Precious, because Precious is an incredibly talented and successful entrepreneur who has had a really impressive and incredible journey. And I was going to start off with Precious today talking about, I was going to ask her what her superpower is. It's one of my favorite questions to ask people when I first meet them, or if I'm interviewing them or getting to know them for work or personal, is what's your superpower? And when asked that question, people start to get very thoughtful, and I can see the perspective in their brains change a little bit, and then they brag about themselves, which I really love to see. And I think it's incredibly relevant when you're building a business, whether it's a software company or a home baking business, to play to your strengths. And that's some of the stuff we've talked about on the past couple episodes here. And so I wonder about superpowers and what superpowers might be. And I'm actually going to, you know what, I'm going to, Lindsay, Lindsay's still there. I would love Lindsay to join me back on this call. She had no idea this was coming, but, and if she can't come, you can Slack me in the background. But I would love Lindsay to join because Lindsay is a great example of a baker, but also an incredibly talented professional and a multi-hyphenate person. Hey, Lindsay.
Hello. I don't know if people can see me if I'm pinned or not, but how's it going?
It's
There
going
we
great. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but if you all could see, maybe this is like what happens when you're making a big cake order or cookie order, and it is last minute, and like, I don't know, the frosting like shoots all over the room, or like the kid screams or something happens. Lindsay and I are behind the scenes getting ready for these episodes, and each time we're like, why are we so stressed out? Why are we so stressed out? But it leads me back to my superpower question, because understanding and knowing your superpower, then it's about aligning what you do and how you have an impact and how to make your business successful with your superpower. Lindsay, what's your superpower?
Oh, Mark, that's a great question. I think I have a great superpower, especially, okay, well, for those who don't know, I do have a very, very, very small, basic wedding cake business on the side. Oh my gosh, there's Precious coming to us, connecting to audio. One of the things I think I do really well when it comes to cakes particularly is really just like making my customer feel seen and actually executing on the day of. So when it comes to like setting up on a wedding day, making sure it's the bride's day, we're in the background executing for her, giving her what she needs, and also going above and beyond and kind of looking to the rest of the setup and any other details that I can kind of provide to make her day extra special and extra memorable.
I think that's great. And you optimize and you show up at your day job like that too, and align against that. Precious, good afternoon. How are you?
Unmute.
Can we
Hello
hear?
there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. We're excited to see you. We are live, and we've got folks on this call and in our
Okay.
live stream in our live stream in Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. Lindsay and I are excited to see you.
Hi. Let me get to a good parking spot really quickly.
Okay, that would be great. So my superpower, Lindsay, thank you for asking, is I love to tell stories, and I think I tell good stories, and that is helpful to me in my job because I have to hire people and I have to try to lead people. I have to raise money. I have to get people to believe in the mission and the vision and feel good about doing that. And it's one of the reasons why I love doing this with folks like Precious. And I try to find ways to play to my superpower. So, Precious, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Lindsay,
you.
thank you. Precious, welcome to Cast Iron Bites. This is our weekly show where we talk to really powerful, impressive, inspiring, lovely people that we can learn from and be inspired by. So we have people from all over the country on the call. Precious, maybe give us 30 seconds on who you are, as if everyone doesn't, with your hundreds of thousands of followers.
Stop it. No, no one knows me. I'm Precious. I'm born and raised in South Florida. I am the content creator behind Baked by Precious. My main social platform is Instagram, but I'm also on TikTok and Pinterest and a little bit of YouTube lately. I specialize in buttercream cakes, cupcakes, unique treats, especially chocolate covered treats. That's pretty much it. That's the gist of what I do.
Well, you were one of the requested people that we reach out to for this series, because for real, because you have a huge following. How many followers on Instagram?
270K plus, I think, at the moment. It grows every day, and I try not to check it because you don't want your head to get big.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know what that is like. Closer to 280K. It's really impressive. So, you may have caught the beginning, and you and I spoke a couple weeks ago, but I wanted your journey has been really interesting, and I wanted to start sort of from the back. Like, Precious, what's your superpower?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't think I've ever really thought about it.
What are you awesome at?
My family would say that I am I don't know, my grandma says it all the time. She says that I have a giving spirit, whatever that might mean. So it's like my job always within whatever I end up is just like to kind of manage everyone. So I make sure everyone's okay. I check in. I usually am the one that thinks of like something that's going to make someone smile. So I'm always in charge of like the birthdays and the holidays and the family gatherings. So I guess my superpower would be like my ability to keep things together, if that makes sense. I am the together person of the family.
That is, I mean, every family needs one of those. And that's actually really interesting because your entrepreneurial journey, remind us, started off baking, and then you describe yourself as a content creator. Tell us your story.
Yeah, it came about on accident. I've been baking since I was maybe 8 or 9. I stole my first cupcake when I was 12. I used to bake in my kitchen after school. I would pack everything up and send it to the elementary school with my sisters, and they would sell for me at their school. And I would take some stuff with me at my school, and then we would reconvene after school, count the money. I'd give them their payment, and we go from there. I was in the 7th grade doing that. I made my first cake in the 9th grade. It was awful. It was terrible. Shout out to my first customer. She was so kind about that. I sold that cake for $20 when I was 14. And it just kind of went from there. And then I discovered Instagram in 2018, December 2018. And I posted my first picture there on my business page. I didn't really know that you could make content for a living until 2020. I guess when everyone else decided that, they're going to be on the internet.
Home. Yeah,
everyone was home. Everybody's watching the internet. So I was like, okay, let's try some videos. So I went for it. I was coached by, I don't remember her Instagram name, but I don't think she posts anymore, but she looked at my page. She's like, listen, these pictures are great. Let's turn them into videos. I think you could really do something with this. So I did. Her name is Carolyn, but I don't know what her Instagram handle is anymore. But I did, and it just kind of it took a life of its own. And I'm kind of coasting with it. I'm trying to see how far we can take it.
You are so chill. You're just coasting with it.
I am. I really am chill. Everyone says that.
Let me ask you this though, because you're the person that keeps it all together and you are chill. Has it been an easy ride, or do you have like hardships and obstacles along the way?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely do. I wouldn't even say right now, like, even though the page is growing, I do get partnerships and stuff, I wouldn't call it easy. I wouldn't even say that I'm happy with it 100% of the time. But I think for me, I understand that like life is ebbs and flows. and things come and they go. And I'm just really grateful for the opportunities that I have been awarded. And I don't want to dwell too far in what's not happening,
Right.
because so much great has happened. And it's like, I'm still young, you know, and I'm here again today. So that means something else great could still happen. So I try to stay up here and not let, you know, what's not happening or what's not going great really hold on to me for too long. Like, I give myself a little bit of time to be upset about something, and then I'm like, okay, move on. What's next?
Well,
That's kind of how I go about it.
my grandfather used to say that every day he'd wake up, before he opened his eyes, he'd put his hands like this to see if he was in a box.
Oh my goodness.
And if he
Yeah.
wasn't in a box, he'd open his eyes and he knew it would be a good day.
Right. Like, let's do this. Yeah.
Let's do that. So
I love that.
so obstacles come and they happen. And do you, how much, like, it was interesting, you give yourself some time. Do you actually think about that? Like, when something comes up, are you like, all right, let me,
Yeah.
how do you deal with those obstacles as they show up?
Well, first I decide if it's like a life-changing obstacle, like, okay, is everyone alive? Check, check, check. We're all here. Cool. Is this going to cost us a substantial amount of money? Maybe, maybe not. Will we be able to bounce back? You know, like, I kind of have like a mental checklist of things, like, to decide how upset I need to be about this. For the most part, nothing is ever worth a full-on meltdown. So I try to remind myself, like, okay, this is something that we can work through. So I give myself a moment to be upset naturally, because I am still a person and I'm upset about it. And then I'm like, all right, can I change this? And if I can't, I move on to something else. Like, let's do something that I can actually have some control of. You know, if it's out of my control, I try not to give it too much energy, because that takes away from the things that are in my control.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
It makes a total sense. And as someone who has had anxiety my whole life, what I've come to learn about anxiety is it's like I'm worrying about things that haven't happened yet. And like spending that energy worrying about things that I can actually like avoid by taking action is really a powerful tool to like get grounded and to realize that. How do you did you learn that just through being present and
I don't know. I would say I had a decent childhood, but I would say maybe it was rockier than maybe some other people. And then I'm the oldest there was 4 in our household, but I have a total of 6 siblings. So I'm the oldest of 6. So I was always like put in the position to figure it out. So it might be a defense mechanism, honestly, but I've kind of learned to use it for good. If I don't need, I feel like I'm rambling, but like, it's kind of always something that I had to do. So now I figured out how to use it to benefit me more so than like scare me into a hole or into a corner. Like, I've always been the one that had to take care of it. So now as an adult, I just take care of it. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm taking care of it, as well as like taking care of myself, and then making sure that the people that are close to me are taken care of.
It's so powerful. And my dreams for these conversations is that we see ourselves in these conversations. And so the folks who are watching, sure, I'm not going to teach you how to make a better cake. Because you could, I can't. But like what I hope to do is for people to not feel alone in the journeys that they are on, because entrepreneurship is really hard. Really hard, and incredibly lonely, particularly when you work from home like me. So, right. And so thank you for sharing that. How do you take care of yourself, and how do you balance? You must have a very busy life. How do you balance and make time for work and your personal well-being and your family's well-being, all of that?
Well, I think I had to learn to be a little selfish, just a little. So I had to actually like let everyone know who's dependent on me, like, okay, so today is the day that I'm going to be focused on me, you know? So maybe the day before I'll make sure dinner's prepped so that no one has to ask me for dinner tomorrow, because tomorrow I've decided that's going to be my day. I like getting my nails done. If you follow my social media, you'll notice that my manicure is always different and it usually matches my treats. So I make sure that I don't miss my nail appointments because that's my time for me. I do enjoy spending time with my kids majority of the time. I do love my children. So they're so funny. So if I need like a pick me up, I go ask them just a random question. Their answer usually is something hilarious, and I could laugh at that for a few hours. So I try to find like small spaces in my day that are going to make me feel like me. I love soda. I'm addicted to Coke. I love McDonald's Coke. So if I need a minute, I'm like, I'll be back. I go grab a large Coke with light ice and I sit in my car and I stare at the sky for like 10 minutes. And then I come back in. I'm like, I'm good now. What would you like? So I think making sure that I take a minute, even if it's just a minute, you know, to regroup. McDonald's Coke is the best. Yeah, just to regroup. That's been working. You know, everyone, they notice when I need a minute too. Like they'll be like, would you like a piece of candy, mommy? You know, I get that from my 5-year-old. I'm like,
Oh, that's
yeah.
sweet. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
They notice because my personality completely shifts when I'm overstimulated.
It does, right? Like if
Yeah.
and I often find when I'm stressed at work, I just show up very differently at home. And my commute is 10 feet. So I don't have the time to change my mind or change my mindset.
Yeah.
Precious, how do you plan and organize all this stuff?
I am a list maker. I love lists. I have Post-its. I have notebook paper. I like white copy paper, like fresh out of the printer. If it's blank and I have a pen, don't bother me for 10 minutes. Like I love to write down everything that I need to do, that I want to do. I have it like broken down into time increments, like some stuff. Okay, I have 15 minutes for this. We're going to get this done in that 15 minutes. I'm very meticulous as far as my day to make sure everything is structured. And I'm working on that too, because I do want to make sure that I'm not over scheduling. But yes, I'm a list maker. I like colored paper and Post-its and highlighters and little sticky tabs. That's me.
Do you use Google Calendar at all?
I don't use Google Calendar because I don't usually like to have, I like to hold it. Like I like notebook and pens and to physically write it. Like Office Depot has the cutest hot pink notebook paper. I've been on that lately too. So anything that makes it feel tangible.
Yeah, that's interesting. We have a live webinar by one of our people in our community today on how she uses Google Calendar. So like 4 tips to become a get started and use Google Calendar, multiple calendars, multiple colors. It was the colors that made me. If you saw my calendar, it's got 7 different calendars, each different color and organized.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm old school. I'm old school. I like to touch it. I want to feel it. I want to write it with my own hands. And then I feel like that helps me put it in my brain if I wrote it down.
I get that. I do that digitally. Like, you know, we have all these automated reports and stuff, but it doesn't matter. Every single day I go to the thing, take the numbers out, type them into the spreadsheet. And like, that's my way of like getting my hands on it.
All right, you're pretty organized then.
Yeah, I do okay. All right, this is the part, the rapid fire wrap up. This is supposed to be Cast Iron Bites, which is bite size and chock full of value, and we've certainly had it. Precious, what is your favorite or best meal you've ever had?
Oh, I love steak and lobster. I'm a surf and turf girl. Steak and lobster with a side of fries.
Do you remember one in particular? One time?
There's a restaurant here called Bimini Twist. They're my favorite. I'll choose them anytime.
All right, I'm gonna go Google them in a minute. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, and who gave it to you?
My stepdad told me maybe 8 years ago, you don't want to look back 5 years from now and wish that you started 5 years ago. I use that every single day. So I just start. I don't care if I don't have a plan or if I'm not ready, I start it and we figure it out as we go.
Yeah, action always beats inaction, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's awesome. Is he an entrepreneur? Or was he an entrepreneur?
He is a serial entrepreneur. He has way too many things going on. But he's always on it, and he always says the right things when it comes to business. So I do listen to him sometimes.
Yeah,
I won't ever admit that to him, but I do listen.
well, Precious, surprise! Guess who's here right now? Let's welcome Precious'
Right.
stepfather. No, the saying that I heard was the best time to like plant a tree was like 20 years ago. The next best time is today, right?
Today. Yeah, I love that.
It's
Same
similar message.
same gist.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. The last question here is, who inspires you? Tag somebody here that we
Oh.
should maybe talk to or go find or learn more about.
Oh, as far as like other creators,
Anybody who inspires you, Precious.
oh, I don't know. There's so many. As far as creators, Beauty and the Sweets, her name is Maria. She's killing it right now. And she's got so much going on. She's got kids, you know, she's a stay-at-home mom. So like to watch her grow how she's been growing and stick with it, most definitely like her if we're talking creators. Outside of creators, I would say my family. My biggest inspiration is wanting to make sure that I build something for them that they can carry on when I'm no longer here.
Thank you so much for sharing, Precious. It is a joy to talk to you again. Thank you for bringing your energy, your passion, and your creativity. People want to find out more about you, they can go to your website at bakedbyprecious.org.
Yeah, org, not .com.
Not .com. I'm not going to ask why, but I'm just going to repeat it again, bakedbyprecious.org. And check it out. And you probably are already following Precious on Instagram, but if you're not, it's Baked by Precious, correct?
Yes, Baked by Precious on Instagram. You can find me there majority of the time. I try to get to all my DMs. At the moment, I don't have any unread DMs. So if you DM me, I will most likely get back to you.
Okay, careful what you wish for. Precious, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we got to do this, and I hope you have a wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thank you. Same to you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.